yeah, I mean, he knew that, like, no, you don't need all of this. You need something that just, like, people like cars. Sing about cars.
So get Cadillac Car, and I just wrote, if this were the 80s, Cadillac uses this song in every commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Every single one.
They probably use it now to remind you. Like, back when Cadillacs were classics.
So that it becomes a
black station hit.
Black station hit. Yeah, mm-hmm. Black station hit. And then suddenly it's on American Bandstand. But I wrote that cover was a step beyond Pat Boone.
Yeah, that was.
Now I was like, okay, that is too far.
I was like, that's soft even for the Beach Boys. Like that was so soft. It like was Cottonelle. Like it was, yeah.
I was like, oh, it's so gross.
So this kind of talks about publishing. So what we were talking about earlier, when you have that song published, you don't always have a say so in who records it, unless you're like a Max Martin or a Diane Warren.
Yeah,
you don't have any say in who records it, and CeCe finds out like the hard way.
At the time, people were just doing covers of other people's songs willy nilly. We don't even know in some cases we don't even know who the original artist was, and they kind of brought it up like who's the first artist saying Hound Dog? Elvis Presley. No, it was not. And
I know we did an episode on this a few years ago, in which we kind of talked about, how Pat Boone and some of these other artists would, I hate to say rip off, but I mean, essentially would rip off these songs and make them more palatable for a white audience, with the exception really of the person who kept it the closest, Elvis Presley, would keep it the closest to what it was because he actually liked the music. But for the most part, you had your Pat Boones who were slowed it down, softened it up, took a lot of the rhythm out of it.
And this was one of our earliest episodes. We haven't talked about the film, but I know I mentioned the scene in the film, the Little Richard story, where he's singing Long Tall Sally, and Pat Boone's trying to do that song too,
and he can't keep up.
And it's like, and they were telling Richard, you're not going fast enough. So he sings it like as fast as he possibly can. And yes, Pat Boone just can't keep up. So, but like this Cadillac Car was it was a step beyond Pat Boone. And I also wrote, because of the payola episode we did, and we're going to get into that scene, Dick Clark produced that cover of Cadillac Car. In this world, Dick Clark produced that song.
Alan Freed wouldn't have done that.
No.
Alan Freed would have been
Alan Freed would never.
He would have been, this is disgusting. It's disgusting. What are you doing? What are you doing? Alan Freed was, well, not the most moral man, was a big fan of rock and roll and R&B music. He wouldn't have done that. He would have been the guy standing out to the side like, this is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. I hope you all die.